prison reform. I also work in the field, so many of the people from the Department of Corrections would know me in a professional sense because of a program that I run. They know nothing about me personally, though. My goal is to persuade you. About 15 years ago, there was a decision made, and a member of the Department of Public Safety, calling it a mistake, said, we retreated behind the walls. And what they did was, they closed, there used to be a step-down system. You'd start in very high security, and as you got closer to the end of your sentence, you'd typically spend the last 6 or 12 months in a community program that would have substance abuse treatment, the chance to obtain employment and housing. What they did was, 15 years ago, is they closed all those community programs, took the funds, and increased the number of beds inside prison. So now we often have people released directly to the street. I'm here to convince you to reallocate some of those funds to open a pilot program to start these community programs over again. So I'm here as an advocate, and I am ready. Thank you for this opportunity. I think you've all seen the numbers. If not, I put them in front of you just so that you know the source of these numbers are your own website. 20,000 inmates are released back to the community in prison. That's our community and our neighborhoods. We know that the overwhelming majority of them entered prison with substance abuse issues. We know the overwhelming majority of them will be released without any substance abuse treatment. 2/3 of them will reoffend, commit new crimes, and be reincarcerated within the next 3 years. The sad part of this is Massachusetts was once the leader as far as rehabilitative treatment in prison was concerned. We have an opportunity to take that leadership role again. Now, in an ideal world, we turn the clock back and we reinstate all those programs. I know that's not realistic. What we propose today is a much smaller step. What we propose is reopening 100 of an existing wing, 100 beds in an existing wing in the Boston Pre-Release Center. And the way we can fund that is close 100 beds in prison. And we know that providing treatment will give us 3 results. 1, it'll improve public safety, because we know when we treat people, your own statistics say so, recidivism rates go down. 2, we can save money. It costs $12,000 a year to house an inmate in a community program. Well, it's $50,000 a year in prison. And the last reason is it's just the humane thing to do. If we warehouse people, we take away their hope, we give them no opportunity to change their lives. You see, for this entire population, re-entry is a fact. They're coming back. Reintegration is not. Many of us have seen the effects of treatment. We've seen the miraculous turnaround when people get treatment change their lives. In my work in the substance abuse field, I witness it every day. I stand before you today as one of those miracles. In 1978, I graduated from Harvard. In 1991, I was on my way to federal prison for 8.5 years for armed bank robbery. I had become the victim of my own drug addiction and alcoholism. I was hopeless. I was fortunate enough to be in a federal prison that had substance abuse treatment available. I took full advantage of that treatment. I was fortunate enough at the end of my sentence to spend the last 6 months in a halfway house in the community, where I had access to substance abuse treatment, access to finding employment and housing. Treatment works. I'm a perfect example of it. I've been given a gift that I now get to pass on because I work in the field. I'd like for us to take the opportunity right now to give that gift to other people. I still wake up sometimes, and in that fog when my eyes first open, I'm not sure where I am. And when I realize I'm no longer in prison, and I realize that I've been given the gift of another day clean and sober, I realize what an opportunity I have to pass that on to someone else. I've been clean and sober for 18.5 years. I've been out of prison for 10.5 years. During that time, I've been crime-free, and I've been a productive member of society. Please, let's offer that opportunity to others. Consider this proposal. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Greg, you're up. want you to switch mindsets and put your education hats on. This pitch is being presented before the Georgia State Department of Education at an education forum involving education officials and administrators from throughout the state. So that's you. I am the state's education department's director of the World Languages Department, which includes foreign language learning and English as a second language. I am trying to pitch that we adopt a new high school graduation requirement that requires every student to be proficient in 2 languages, English and another language, in order to graduate. The reason that the board would need to be persuaded of this is, number one, the high costs of such an initiative, and also would just want to know why learn another language. What are the benefits of being bilingual? Part of the context of Georgia, we have a large number of immigrants coming in the last 15 years, and they are needing to learn English, but we often have the problem of not helping them maintain their first language. So this initiative would help them as well as Georgia students, as I'm going to pitch. So, back to that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for allowing me to speak with you today. To begin, I'd like everyone in this section, please, and everyone in this section except for the top row, to please stand for a second. If this is the world, this represents the number of people who are fluent in 2 or more languages. Now, will all of you except the front row sit down? You guys remain seated. These represent the number in the United States. You think we'll sit? And these, if you remain standing for a second. These 3 represent the number in our state who are proficient in 2 or more languages. Thank you. As you can see, foreign language learning has not always been a priority in our country or our state. At best, we get minimum exposure in elementary and middle school, and maybe that 2-year requirement in high school. And how much do we remember from our 2 years of high school Spanish? I bet 3 things. And Spanish speakers in the room, I apologize for my acento gringo. Hola, ¿cómo estás? And ¿dónde está el baño? Now, I'm not criticizing these programs. They've served their purpose well of providing initial foreign language instruction and exposure to previous generations. But for today's generation, the world has changed, and knowing a second language is critical. Furthermore, we have many new immigrant students coming into our schools. These kids work hard, they're learning English, but we often don't do well at helping them maintain and support their first language, which is a valuable resource, and often their connection to their parents and grandparents. How do we solve these problems? By establishing a new high school graduation requirement of proficiency in 2 languages, English and another language. Pushing our schools to provide comprehensive English language and foreign language instruction from K through 12. Now, admittedly, this is a tall order. So what are the benefits that would justify the cost? We know that second language learning provides cognitive and academic benefits, which boosts English, math, and science proficiency, and even improves our understanding and proficiency in our own language. And an edge in the world market. Let's say I'm a CEO of a company, and I'm trying to secure a business partnership in China. My chief rival company wants that partnership too, and they have 10 managers who are fluent in Chinese, in Mandarin. Who has the edge? Besides, the federal government is willing to support this goal. Presidents Clinton and Bush supported foreign language learning of critical languages. And in 2007, the National Security Language Institute was initiated with $57 million to go towards this goal. And we know that President Obama will continue to support this. Ladies and gentlemen, the time has changed, and for our kids, this is critical. Why should we remain mired in practices suited for a previous generation? You saw where we stand in the world. The race begins today to global competitiveness. Why shouldn't our state be the first state out of the gate? adjourn.